Hello everyone, welcome to a Versus Video Deck Tech BBD joined by
and by Brad Nelson.
Brad Nelson, everyone. Brad Nelson. And I'm going to be battling with Naya, Planeswalkers, Brimazes,
We are defined by any words that you want to use. This is just a Naya deck.
That's right, yeah. Naya. It's green, red, and white. What up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at it, though.
Let's do that. All right. So we have a bunch of mana guys. We have like the classic Sylvan Caryatid and the Courser Shell that is defining green decks, and we also have Voice and Brimaz. These are just like our early defensive creatures, but thankfully they're also good offensively as well. But they're there to like hold down the fort early on just to get our Planeswalkers online, of which we have numerous. So we have Xenagos, Ajani, Domri, and Elspeth. I would have played Chandra, I just wasn't sure the mana could fit her, so I left her on the bench. But
I do already see one problem.
What's the problem?
You have a Soul of Chandalar and not two Soul of Theros, because this deck is very Theros-centric.
Yeah. Well, it's Chandalar-centric too.
No, it isn't. Not at all.
All right. Well, you got me. All right, you got me. You caught it. Trying to slip one by him, but so yeah, we have all these sweet Planeswalkers that work really well with each other, and we have a lot of cheap creatures as well. So that Ajani's -2 is just going to be really sweet in this deck. So we can pump up all our cheap guys, and we can also pump up our other Planeswalkers with it. That lets us do things like ultimate Elspeth a turn earlier, sometimes even actually 2 turns earlier if our Johnny's on 4. The turn we play Elspeth, we can ultimate it a couple turns earlier.
I mean, that's the shtick. If you go a Johnny with 4, you go Elspeth, tick up, a Johnny tick down, and then next turn you tick down a Johnny and ultimate your Elspeth.
Exactly.
You just ultimate it the next turn.
Exactly. Yeah. You get actually 2 turns if you have an Ajani that's higher than 4.
They get to attack 1 time to get past your Johnny, or you ultimate it.
But you're going to block that attack with all your little creatures.
Exactly, and your 3 2/2s you just put into play.
Yes, yeah, those 2, yeah. And then Xenagos 2, you can actually keep making satyrs while ticking up towards ultimate, which is actually pretty cool too. And then Domri, the interaction with Domri is you can like play a Domri, fight a guy, -2 a Johnny, and then fight again the next turn. So you get a double fight out of a Johnny if you want to, or you can also push a Johnny towards ultimate, Domri towards ultimate much faster as well. And then Ajani itself is actually just really good with Brimaz in general, especially against
your general.
Yeah, well, he is a legendary creature, yes, and Ajani does fit in that deck. That you can like +1 and just crush aggressive decks with like Brimaz into Ajani's +1 over and over again, and then Ajani's ultimate is just the nuts against any kind of aggressive deck. It just prevents like all damage except for 1 from any source. So
which is very powerful.
Very powerful. So I think this deck's actually pretty cool. I guess I should mention we have each of the souls in here.
Well, not each. We are missing the red one.
The green one.
The green one? Oh, yeah, we're missing the green one.
Yeah, missing the green one because I think that one's not that great. But I think these 2 are pretty sweet. And I actually think the red one's the best one, especially with Xenagos. You can actually just go crazy if you have a lot of mana and just keep killing things over and over again.
What does it do? It does 3 damage to a source or all sources?
It does 3 damage to a player and a creature they control.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Especially when you have Xenagos plus Elspeth and you can just tick up and just
kill their entire board and hit them for 9 and then
I don't know
attack.
about their entire board.
You can kill...
At the point of killing their entire board, they're probably also dead.
Well, they ultimated in a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, so yeah.
This is just the perfect scenario for you. So like both players have a Johnny emblem, and you have to figure out how to win.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds delightful. And then Soul of Theros is really good with a bunch of like little crappy guys to just take over the game completely.
Don't say that about Voice of Resurgence. He's not little or crappy.
I was saying that about Courser of Kruthix.
Yeah, that's pretty little and crappy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's look at the sideboard and see what sweet goodies await us there.
Oh boy, I'm so excited!
All right, we are back with a sweet old sideboard here, and as you can tell, I don't like mono blue at all. I think mono blue is evil, and so I have Banishing Lights, Deicides, Mistcutter Hydras, and Anger the Gods to handle the mono blue menace.
What about the Quilting Menace?
I'll have to stitch together a sideboard plan for that.
Okay,
but I don't
we'll
have
figure
one.
it out later.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out later. But Banishing Light's also good in a variety of matchups, and Deicide is also occasionally good in other matchups where they have like Detention Spheres and the like. And then we have Anger the Gods and Perforos. Anger the Gods really good with Voice of Resurgence, Sylvan Caryatid, and Elvish Mystic.
I mean, it's just a perfect combination of spells.
It is, yeah. Like I like to curve out with those creatures in the first 2 turns, and then Anger the Gods the next turn.
It doesn't have any flaws at all.
There are no flaws to that strategy.
No.
But actually, Anger the Gods is surprisingly fine in this kind of a deck because, A, your opponent has to overextend like crazy to get past those cards, and B, you can play around your own.
Well, you also take your voices out against Mono Blue because they just Tidebinder and it does nothing.
Yeah.
Even if they don't Tidebinder, it still does nothing. Right.
They can play a Frostburn Weird or a Night Veil Spectre or a Thassa or a Master of Waves.
Everything invalidates the voice.
Except for Judge's Familiar.
Judge's Familiar does not.
And then we have Perforos, God of the Forge, just for those pesky control decks and those mono black decks where all your creatures are going to do a lot of damage to them, and they can't really stop it.
Nope, and this card is really good when that happens.
It is really good. Unfortunately, I think Perforos might be getting a little worse with Perilous Vault in the new set.
What's Perilous Vault?
It is the new Oblivion Stone type card. Costs 4 to cast and 5, and exiles all permanents.
I don't really know if that's going to see that much play.
I don't know if it is either.
It's slow. But
if it does, Perforos is a sad, sad man.
That is true. He's here to go the long haul, and that card can just come down on turn 4, and then 5, it just blows everything up.
Yep. But I think this deck's pretty cool, and I think that a Johnny is actually an insanely awesome fit in it. So I'm excited to give it a shot and see how badly I can beat Brad Nelson. Probably lose to Brad Nelson.
A Johnny off. It's the Johnny off.
Yeah, it is.
We both have a Johnny.
Yeah, I guess we'll see who is more steadfast coming up soon.
Oh! I don't know what to say either.